Hey everyone. So today me and Amit are going to be talking about a really interesting analogy. And Amit, I've read that article that you have written about the comparison between value and energy, where you have described different, like how like energy can either be created, not be destroyed. The value also has a parallel to that. And I would love to hear your like from where that idea came from to compare value and energy, and then we can dig deep into what potential value, kinetic value, and stored value.
Sure, yeah. Energy, can be, I should say, interpreted in various ways. You can have a various models for what energy is. And it's a form of power, it's this, it's that, but energy typically is dynamic in the sense that there is some movement which requires energy, or stored energy, which is, potential, or which has already been so-called created, but there is something called no, not stored, but not yet created. That is, potential energy.
Yeah.
So there is potentiality in something, right? And so what is that transformation from what it is to what it can be? Is the dynamic aspect of that energy in motion, right? Now, why does something transform? Why does why does this apple not turn into a banana, right?
Yeah.
What is the normal natural transformation going on in the world? What is the logical transformation? Why does something happen? And why does something else not happen? The reason for something specific to happen versus something not something else to happen is because that specific something was the right thing to happen in that situation. As determined by the nature of all things that are involved in it. Nature, not artificially imposed that, let's make this one do that or whatever. The natural way of things. So the natural way is a flow of transformation.
Yeah.
And it's already happening based on what? Based on this is the right thing. The universe is in the right, completeness or the way it is right now. It's totally harmonious. Even though you might see, disturbances like the pandemic, the universe itself is perfectly at, balance. So what we perceive as imbalance is actually just a process of change.
Yeah.
And it's so the question then becomes, why does something transform? As I said, is because it's the right thing to do, or the intelligent transformation. It requires not artificial intelligence. It requires human intelligence to see. And when I say human, I mean natural, not artificial. Not that individuals smartly can see it. No, just the fact that human beings are able to talk about artificial intelligence requires a form of intelligence. That basic and natural intelligence is what we mean when the transformation is taking place in nature. So the natural transformation is the one that makes sense to everything.
Yeah.
Right? So the body is transforming wholly. It's not that this cell is transforming independently of this other cell here. The whole body is transforming, even though the individual cells are themselves transforming independently. This balanced, and if that is not in balance, we call it disease and so on, right?
Yeah.
So what is that transformation, and what is that energy that is required to make this transformation? And the answer to that is the intelligent energy comes from perceiving value. If there is value, you will do it, isn't it? It's stupid to not do what is of value.
Yeah. If it benefits you, there is a value in doing whatever transformation or change is required. Even by a cell in your body, the cell will do it.
Isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So the value and energy are both the same things. It's just perceptions of the underlying principle. There are two perceptions of the same underlying principle. One is called energy, the other is called value, but they're both the same things. It's like night and day are not two separate things. Without night, you can't have day, and without day, you can't have night. Yeah. So they're not separate, even though they're opposite.
Yeah, exactly. They're complementary to each other.
They are not complementary. So, it is actually the same process of night and day.
Yeah.
that you call one part of the same process night and you call another part of the same process day. It is not two different things. It is just what you call it when you perceive it differently during those parts of the transformation.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Energy and value both are two names given to the same, to components of the same process or aspects of the same process.
Okay.
So because if I show you value, you will have a lot of energy.
Yeah.
That's true. So energy can be created from potential value. Potential value is energy, which is potential energy, right? Because if you see the value, you are fully activated. You'll become kinetic.
Exactly. I think there was a saying when we grow up or something, people used to, even teachers or they perceive students in a way and they say that, okay, this guy has a lot of potential or this person has a lot of potential in this thing. So that's basically talking about the value the person have, and that value can be extracted when they become more dynamic, when they become more kinetic.
Value cannot be extracted, but the value can be created.
Co-created,
because value requires a counterparty to also appreciate the value.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is the value provider and the value receiver. So value, again, two sides of the same process. But it's the value receiver, the perceiver of the said value, that has to activate, not the seller. The seller is always saying, I have a lot of value. There is no value in the seller saying that. Because the seller always says that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's discounted. Yes.
That's discounted. Yeah.
So the only thing that matters now is either a buyer or a co-seller.
Exactly.
No other two things matter. The buyer obviously will come either through being a buyer himself. The co-seller himself becomes a buyer, he or she. Or co-seller goes and brings a buyer. Because they know who wants it. They see the value.
And when we talk about this transformation happening, that is when it turns into a kinetic value, or that is when it's the transformation actually happens and there is a sale.
Yeah, no. The fact that anything can happen is potential energy. Potentially anything can happen, right? Yeah. But if you start to activate or act on it, if you start taking action towards unlocking the potential energy and then that process creates kinetic energy in that process. You become kinetic and then there's more, so it rolls up, right? It starts to rise. The energy starts to rise as so the momentum, they call it, inertia, when it starts to roll, more and more things happen, right? What does that mean? When you individual energy, collective energy, the whole nation is up, standing up and doing things, when something crazy happens, like for example, Ukraine, the whole country is up in arms and fighting and all that stuff has suddenly happened, right? They were not, potentially that can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
But it activated itself when they saw what had to be done, right? So that's the thing. Is that not a valuable thing for them to do? For them, it is. For each side of the equation, they're doing what they perceive will give them value, which gives them energy.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. It's a really interesting way of looking at value, because I think inherently we understand energy a bit more well than we understand value. And when we draw these parallels, it becomes more clearer where we want to go, and what actions would actually give us something fruitful, give us a value that is valuable to us, give us something that is valuable to us.
We call it unlocking. We call it unlocking intelligence. Not artificial intelligence, but human or basic or natural or collective intelligence, which is inherently a human thing. People are the only ones who can be metacognitive about what is happening. Animals don't know that something else could have happened. They're not reflecting on the past.
Exactly.
Only humans are meta-aware of what is and what can be and all this stuff, which is the imagination part. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you have to be able to clearly unlock the forces of nature that create value or create transformation. Both are same.
Yeah, both are the
Value means transformation from one state to another, which is more valuable.
Yeah, that makes sense. So when we come to the implications of these, it will sort of turning things into action, moving towards the direction to like either getting that value or helping someone achieve that value, like a seller or a co-seller. And so the implications in the real world for this analogy or for this parallel would be like a person becoming either like it will
Let's
be
start
a
with the
person
basic,
who would
right?
process.
The basic way it works in the real world is what is called as the market principle, which is what? The invisible hand that makes people do things. What is that?
Yeah.
Profit motive, which is what is in it for me? The ego principle, which is I need to do something for myself. I need to make money. I need to be blah, blah, blah. I need to be secure. I want this. I want that. I want that. All these things. I want this experience. I want to go to Mars, whatever it is. It's the self only that can, decide what it is of value for you, which is why it's called subjective. Values in the eye of the beholder, so to speak.
Yeah.
So the market principle is nothing but a place where value can be discovered and bought and sold. So now we already know nothing can be sold. So there is no point in selling anything. But certainly you can bring all the people together and make the value very, very clear. Energy is created, buying happens or co-selling happens because there is a profit motive there. And the entrepreneur is awakened.
Right?
Now
it completes this cycle.
Yes. Is the one who has to become energetic. And the way you become energetic is by seeing all the value that you're about to unlock. And the kinetic movement has to be towards the unlocking of that particular energy. And how do you unlock it? By bringing the counterparties, because I'm unlocking it for you, not for myself.
It's been unlocked for somebody else. So if you see from this perspective, I think there is value abundance.
There is only value
in the world. There's only value.
Only intelligence, you see. The intelligence is what says whether something is of value or not. Which is all the people. Exactly. And everybody has their own ideas and all that. So they all have various things they value. Where is the question of trying to sell something? Instead of that, just show them what they already value.
Exactly.
There's millions of things. There's everything.
There's abundance. There is no short, like it's all value.
There is no zero-sum game. So because potential is unlimited. So when we say it cannot be created or destroyed, it means that because it's infinite, that has no meaning. This is all accounting. You're trying to take the entire universe and create one small accounting system for these 2 people or 10 planets and saying, look how big I am. The whole universe is full of value. What are you talking about in this little cup of water here?
Exactly.
So the entire universe is awake. You are awake. And there is only value. Where is the question of scarcity or economics, which is a study of economics and incentives? I mean, study of scarcity. And, they call it, the economics is a study of scarcity. It's based on the principle of scarcity because that is what supply and demand is, that there is limited supply. But there isn't limited supply. It's a fundamentally flawed approach to life, and it's not reality. So to labor and to suffer under something that is not true is ignorance and foolish.
Like there's no scarcity actually.
It's imagination. So imagination is at play. It is giving you the fear of, things because you're worried about oneself, your own self. That creates the problem. if you realize that instead of worrying about me, I just care about everybody, instantly you're living in infinitude.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's simple. So you're living in a form of unlimited energy and unlimited, opportunity, because you're only seeing value. There is no question, because you don't get tired there. It's value.
Yeah.
How will you get tired? It's happening.
Yeah. Exactly. So thanks so much, Amit. It's been a really amazing talk, and it's an eye opener to see things from a different perspective and draw analogy between the value and energy, which we understand more. Like as a human, energy is more understandable to us than value, because we know, okay, when we are on high energy, when we are on low energy, we understand that really well. And to get to know this analogy, and for the people who are watching, that I'll click the link of the article also in the description, so that people can have a more deeper look at what this means. Thanks so much.
Thank you.